guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Rosie and thank you so much for being here and joining me today. So I bought the Rode Go wireless microphone around 3 months ago and did an unboxing video, which I will leave linked here and also leave linked below, where I kind of unboxed it and showed you what was in the box and what I thought of it and kind of my first impressions. I then also quite soon afterwards did a vlog where I used this with the purple panda lav mic. Again, I will leave that linked here and also down below in the description box. Where I used this as a microphone for a vlog, so I just kept it clipped on the whole day, didn't turn it off, and I walked around Wynwood and kind of showed you a little bit around Wynwood in Miami, but also was testing the microphones in terms of distance and in terms of kind of if it ever cuts out or anything like that, if it was easy to use. All of that is in that video as well. So another one of my favourite pieces here in Wynwood is this huge Lovers and One with Bob Marley. It's huge. I'm going to go and run next to it so you can see just how big it is compared to me. You ready? Can you still see me in the camera? It's huge and I love it. So now it's been 3 months, I really wanted to jump on here and kind of give you a review and talk about some of the things that I've learned, some good things and some bad things about these microphones. So if we start off by talking about the price, these cost $200, which depending on your budget might seem really expensive or really affordable. I personally found it quite expensive to begin with. I was like, oh my god, $200, that's really expensive. A microphone, you know, other microphones cost a lot less. So the one that I'm using at the moment is the Rode Video Micro. This is about $50 or $60 online. Again, I'll leave everything that I'm talking about linked below if I talk about different things. About $50 or $60, so I thought paying $200 for something else, for a different microphone, would it be worth it? Would I actually use it? Is it worth having both, or is one enough? Honestly, I kind of think both is ideal for me and my situation. It might not be the case for you, however. So I use the Rode Video Micro that I've got on now for all of my kind of sit down videos and any vlogging that I do, and I pretty much use that, I would say 99% of the time. So you might ask the question, why did I buy these, and also why did I keep them, why didn't I return them? Well, actually, these are really great when you need them. So I don't think you need these all the time. If you already have the Rode Video Micro, you probably don't need these, depending on the kind of videos that you make and the kind of audio that you want to make as well. So I bought these ones to be able to talk on a microphone from far away from my camera, because obviously with the microphone that I have now, I have to be kind of this distance away for it to work. If I go any further back, you know, if I kind of stand the opposite side of a car park or a field or the beach or whatever it is, you won't be able to hear me talking, obviously. So I bought this microphone system just so that I can kind of set my camera up anywhere and walk around and still be able to hear what I'm saying. I think I've only used this 3 times in 3 months, so like I said, it's not something I use all the time, but when you do need it, it's great to have it. A couple of things to mention is the size. So I have the dimensions here written down. So it is 44mm by 45.3mm by 18.5mm. So that is honestly tiny. I mean, compared to the size of my hand, like it really is small, and it's so lightweight. It's 31 grams. And also the battery life, this lasts 7 hours. So like I said, I use this for a vlog, like a day vlogging. I literally turned it on and didn't turn it on and off throughout my different kind of filming scenes, if that makes sense. Because I feel like with something like this, because you have to turn on both the receiver and the transmitter, if you were to keep turning it on and off all the time, I worry that you would end up filming some scenes without, you know, forgetting to turn it back on again. So I literally just left it on. I think we were out for maybe 5 or 6 hours, and it lasted the whole time. I literally just turned it on when we started the day and then turned it off at the end of the day, and it was perfect. And I think that's the really great thing about this. For being such a small device, you would think that maybe it would need a battery pack, or maybe it would need to be recharged quite often. But I think 7 hours is a really good amount of time to be able to kind of get, you know, lots of different content filmed, whether it's a vlog, you know, for a day, or whether it's maybe kind of shooting lots of different videos in one day. 7 hours of battery life is amazing. And I think the main kind of reason to get these is in terms of flexibility. So like I was saying, in terms of vlogging, having it just kind of on the whole day worked really well. I used mine with the purple panda lav mic. Again, that worked really well. That microphone retails for about $30 or $40. I know that Rode have their own lav mic as well for about $100. I haven't tried that one out, so I don't know if it's any better than the purple panda. But if you did want to get this with a cheaper lav mic, the purple panda works well. So a couple of things to mention with this. So one of these, this one is the transmitter, and you have the microphone port thing, wire, and then this bit plugs into your camera, and that goes onto the hot shoe, which is a perfect size. And then the other one you would place on yourself, and it has the microphone here. So a couple of things. This worked great when I was vlogging, like I said, with the lav mic. Something I will say is that if you place it on your t-shirt like this, it's obviously quite big and quite cumbersome, and you can kind of see it, you know, it's not very discreet at all. However, if you place it the other way, so going inwards, I think that's a lot more, what's the word? It's just a lot smaller and less kind of intrusive. Just having a small black thing I think is a lot better than having the whole black device. A couple of things I will say, if you have hair like me, I noticed that when my hair touches the microphone here, you can hear a rustling sound. So I'm always careful to, if I have my microphone on that side, I'm careful to kind of wear my hair this side only, because honestly you really don't want to waste your audio and kind of spend however many hours, it doesn't really matter, filming to then get back and start editing and realise that your hair was scratching the microphone the whole time. It drove me insane when that happened. So just be wary of that. The other thing is, because this was attached to my t-shirt when I basically did a video at home talking about my home studio because I'm a photographer, and I was talking about the setup and everything, so I was kind of showing all the equipment and taking everything up and down. Two things happened. So when I bent over to pick something up and I was still talking, because this is quite heavy, it did just pull down a little bit and then it would come back up a little bit. So when I was bending down, I felt like the audio, it was good, it was fine, but it was definitely a little bit quieter than when it was like this. So obviously just bear that in mind. If you're wearing a really tight top that doesn't move, that should be fine. But if you wear anything loose, where if you bend over it might kind of move around a little bit, you might get slight changes in the audio. Next up, you can just open up this next section and make it a little bit taller. So that for me is generally a good height for the rapid box. The other thing is, if you wear a t-shirt like this, is to make sure that it sits flat against your skin here. For one part of the video when I was filming it, it was kind of, I think it must have tucked in a little bit and it was facing my skin. I didn't realise because I think I must have bent down to pick something up, came back up again, and I was just talking like this. And because it was touching my skin, the whole audio was awful. So just make sure that if you do wear this, like I said, with something that's a little bit looser like this, you might get different sounds if the t-shirt happens to move. Or for example, if you wear, you know, a shirt or something with it, you know, the shirt open, that might move around, you might get different sounds as well. So I would recommend wearing some sort of tight top or something that's not going to move around. And then also, if you do happen to bend over and stand back up again, just make sure that it's sitting flat against your skin and it's not, you know, the microphone isn't going, it's kind of, you need to make sure that it's sitting like this rather than anywhere like this, because that will muffle the sound. So that photo shoot took about 30 minutes. Obviously it depends on which dog you have and how well they can sit and stay. So that's my kind of couple of things just to bear in mind. I feel like now that I know that, I won't make the same mistakes again, but it is so frustrating that I spent hours recording this video and then I came to editing and then certain bits, either the kind of volume was up and down because I was bending over, and then also some of it was muffled because it was facing me rather than being flat. So that's two major things to bear in mind. Yeah, I think if you just wear, honestly, I think if you wear a tight t-shirt, that would be fine. But you definitely don't want anything scratching on the microphone, like I said, like with hair, or maybe if you have a shirt unbuttoned and maybe it kind of, you know, the other side of the shirt touches it or something. You do really want to be careful with that, just because it can really affect the audio, and I think video with bad audio is just painful to watch. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the settings. So this is another thing that I kind of had to learn, make mistakes and learn as I went. So when I use my Rode Video Micro, I have my audio settings on my camera, which is the Canon M50. Again, I'll link it below. I have my audio settings on automatic, so that it automatically decides how loud to record the microphone with. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's just kind of how I have my settings. However, if you use auto settings with these, the sound will be crazy high, and it's just, again, it's painful to listen to. It's just way above what it should be. So I've got all of my equipment here and I'm going to talk you through one by one all of the little pieces. So the way that I combated that was that I actually changed the decibel, I think it stands for, the dB here. I'm not super technical and I'm really not super into like audio and video things. I'm more of a photographer. So I do struggle sometimes with some of these settings, but I changed the decibel thing. So if you press this dB button down here on the receiver, this is the bit that actually sits on the camera, you can press that dB button, and I feel like having it on the, you can either have it low, medium or high, and I feel like having it on the medium setting works well. But then also on the camera, if you go into the audio settings and select manual, I'm going to do a recording here in video and show you where I have it. So I would set it to manual and then kind of the second notch, I think it is. And that works perfectly. That's kind of the right sounds. So maybe play about, depending on which camera you have, play about with that and which one works best before you start filming, because like I said, you don't want to film a whole video, think it's going to be fine, and then it's actually not. Again, the downside with that is that when I use different microphones, I do have to change the settings. And equally, I did the either way around, where I had it set on manual settings. I put my Rode Video Micro on, and the audio wasn't quite as I liked it because I was on manual rather than auto, if that makes sense. So just try and get your settings correct, and you will have to make sure that you remember to do that, else it might just be a little bit different and not quite what you want. So now I want to talk about 5 different ways that you can use these, because they are quite versatile in kind of the fact that they have this clip here. So the first way is obviously just attached onto your t-shirt like this, either with that way or with the other way, like that. That's obviously one way that you can use it. The next way is with the lav mic, like I talked about previously, the one that I did when I walked around Wynwood. Again, you can buy the Rode lav mic, I'm sure that would be good. Otherwise, I use the Purple Panda and that worked fine as well. The next way is you can buy a microphone kind of holder thing for it, specifically for the Rode. So it looks like a microphone, and you can get the, I don't know what that's called, the top of the microphone, like the fuzzy bit that, you know, people do for interviewing people. That thing. And it looks like an actual microphone where it's just a stick basically in this with the thing on top. I'll pop a picture here because I'm terrible at describing things. So you can buy that separately if that's something you're into, is interviewing people, so you can kind of go back and forth. That might be a good idea for you. Alternatively, if you don't want to buy the actual Rode microphone holder thing, you can literally use anything. Obviously you could just hold it like this and kind of go back and forth between people, or you can clip it onto something, even just like a card, honestly, anything, like a piece of paper, a card, and you can use that as your microphone to go back and forth with interviewing people. I don't think you necessarily have to buy the holder thing. Yes, it looks more professional. It depends on what you're doing. Like I said, do you want to be holding up a card or do you want to be holding an actual microphone? That's obviously up to you. The next way to use this is just to have it in front of you. So just put some cushions in front of me on my lap, and you could easily kind of clip that either onto the cushion or clip that on, or just leave it honestly rested on the cushion in front of you so that the camera can't see it, but it's just there down below. That's obviously an alternative way to use it. Or the last way is just to hold it. So obviously you can hold it here, you can hold it here, depending on kind of where you want to hold it. But you could just hold it just below the frame there, and you would not know that I was holding a microphone. So there are kind of a lot of different ways that you can use this, which I think makes this a really versatile kind of piece of equipment to have, honestly. So do you need both the Rode Video Micro and the Rode Go? That's completely up to you. For me, I feel like I do, maybe I don't need both, but I definitely do use both. Is it worth $200? I absolutely think so. The fact that it's 7 hours battery life, the fact that it's tiny, you can use just that, like you literally, that and the cable, that's all you need. So you can carry it around with you, you can use it for vlogging, take it everywhere with you. It's not a huge kind of big setup, which again, I think is amazing. I haven't used multiple sets together. I know that's maybe a thing that you can kind of use one, I think, don't quote me on this, I think you can use one transmitter and lots of different microphones. I haven't tried that, so I don't know. You'll have to watch another video to find that out. But I just think honestly, for the size and for the capabilities and the kind of the freedom and the creativity it gives you, the fact that you can kind of film lots of different content with these, I think is amazing. So for me, I definitely think it's worth it. If you do have any other questions regarding these microphones, please do let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to help you out and answer any of the questions. And obviously, if I think another video is needed, I can do that as well. So ask me any questions that you have in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe as well before you leave, and I will see you very soon. Bye.